sitting meditation. Okay. See how we in half lifts. Back straight. Our form of mudra, if you will, is what we call Hokkaidoi, or cosmic round mudra, which is the tips of the thumbs, barely touching the left hand sitting in the right.
Another thing is when meditating, if you can, try to not fully close your eyes. Just kind of non focusing to look in front of you. Avoid closing your eyes.
And one of the things that in talking with Kanye's before services and thinking about over this past week's events is the idea of attachment as being an illness. Attachment as being almost a mental illness. And it's not just attachment to things or attachment to people, but attachment to ideas and attachment to feeling. You're not a bad person or a or solely defined by anger if you felt anger seeing the events in Charlottesville this past week, or the violent attacks in Barcelona a couple of days ago. That makes me angry, causes anger. But I don't want to attach to my anger. When we attach to anger, even when it's righteous anger or indignation, when we attach to that, focus on that, dwell in it, let it define us, and then act on it, that attachment to that anger can then create violence in all forms. Similarly, the people who caused such violence in Charlottesville last weekend had their own attachments. They had attachments to their idea of what was right and wrong, or their idea of what their country or their place in society was supposed to be. And they were so attached to that, and so attached to the feelings of being it, that it spurred them into violent confrontations with otherwise, peaceful counterparts. We even see in international events, not to try to sound like any group or any people is immune to this disease of attachment. We even see in the international sphere the events in Burma. There's I hate to say, but it is what he is, a Buddhist priest in Burma that is, you know, fomenting anger against the Rohingyas in that country, a minority population. And I believe it's right on. I want to research Burma unjustly at all. But the people of that country aren't defined by that person or that leader. But unfortunately, that leader has burned and inspired a lot of violence against the minority population. Why, I can't say, other than, again, a certain attachment to his perception of the ethnic and religious constituency of the country of Burma. That not unlike the um, white nationalists in the United States, there's factions in other countries, such as Burma, that feel no, Burma is solely a Buddhist country, not Muslim. They can't have Muslims. Burma is solely a Burmese country. You can't have Rohingya people. And those categorizations of people based on race, religion, ethnicity, are all air. It's nothing. There's no clear definition because ultimately there's no self. We're not defined by one particular facet of ourselves. But turning back to my main point, the attachment to those things, those ideas, even ideas of ourselves can spur the sicknesses of anger and greed and delusion. So I think it's important to remember amidst some really turbulent times that our world goes through and that our country goes through, that even if you might feel anger at true injustice, we must not attach to that feeling of anger, lest we fall into the delusions that violence is the answer. Because it's not. We can use those feelings of anger in a rational and non-attached way to maybe inspire us to do better as a people, as a country. Inspire us to create peace and eliminate divisions, artificial divisions between people. So, and now I focused a little bit on anger in this discussion, but attachment to any idea or thought or feeling, again, can be like a disease. There's people, love is certainly a laudable emotion, but when people attach too much to that, too much to the euphoria of love, I mean, those are people who wind up having oftentimes really bad relationships with people because they're constantly looking for that euphoric feeling of first love. So again, attachment to anything, even ideas that we think, oh, this is a good idea, this is a good thing. Well, there's lots of good things that even that when attached to and focused on solely to the exclusion of all other things can cause pain to ourselves, pain to others, pain to society. So really what I want to emphasize is one is not a bad person for having feelings, negative feelings, or negative, or what we perceive as negative feelings, or um, negative thoughts. The mind needs to be disciplined on correct concentration. It's one of the steps on the Eightfold Path. Part of our practice, and really our a big part of our practice in sitting meditation, in chanting meditation, is to discipline the mind, to teach the mind not to avoid these thoughts that happen, because thoughts will just happen. Like a river in a stream, pebbles will cause ripples in the stream. There's no way to prevent that. But it's the discipline of not attaching to those thoughts, be they good or bad. So during service today, remember not to attach to thoughts, good or bad, but also as we chant, let's also chant for the purpose of inspiring people to not attach and inspiring people around the world to cultivate peace. Cultivate peace through non-attachment, and cultivate peace through recognizing the true nature of all reality, which is that we all have Buddha nature in us. We are all Buddhas. All sentient beings are Buddhas at this point in time. Once we realize that, perceive that, we cannot act in any way other than in peace. So as we go through service today, again, not attachment, but also chanting for the benefit of all sentient beings to achieve the enlightenment of understanding our reality of Buddha nature. We'll start out with the paper pamphlet, Shogun, the first page, Dojo Gate. Page 5. Honor be to the great mandala, the perfect circle of all honorable ones, revealed by our founder Nichiren Shonin. Honor be to the eternal Buddha Shakyamuni, our original teacher, the Lord of the Dharma, our great benefactor, who attained enlightenment in the remotest past. Honor be to the Sutra of the Lotus Flower, the wonderful Dharma, the teaching of equality, the great wisdom, the one vehicle. Honor be to our founder, the great Bodhisattva Nichiren Shonin, dispatched by our original Buddha. Honor be to Renge Agadi Nichiji Shonin, the first overseas missionary. Honor be to the protected deities of the Dharma. We honor all of you. May you come to this consecrated place out of your compassion towards us. See us with the light of your wisdom and accept our offering of chanting the sutra. And Namu Myo Renge Kyo. Page 9, verses for opening the sutra. The most profound and wonderful teaching is presented in this sutra. This sutra is difficult to meet even once in thousands and millions of aeons. Now we have been able to see, hear, receive, and keep this sutra. And the most excellent teaching of the Tathagata, the most excellent teaching of the great vehicle is very difficult to us to understand. We shall be able to approach enlightenment when we see, hear, or touch this sutra. Expounding is the Buddha's wisdom. Expounded is the Buddha's truth. The letters composing this sutra are the Buddha's manifestation. Just as perfume is taught by something put nearby, so shall we be richly benefited by this sutra, even when we are not aware of being so benefited, because infinite merits are accumulated in this sutra. We can expiate our past transgressions, do good deeds, and attain Buddhahood by the merits of this sutra. It does not matter whether we are wise or not, or whether we believe the sutra or slander it. This sutra is the most wonderful and most excellent taught by the Buddhas of the past, present, and future. May we meet and receive it, birth after birth, world after world. Page 11. Chapter 2. Speeds. Myorenge kyo, oben kondai ni, niji se son chu san mayan jo ni ki wo shai osu shoku shi jin jin uryo go chi e un nange nan yu isai shomon Yabushi Butsu Shofu
の地勝利者が仏道真言なる千万の無重小仏人形小仏無料道有名小人用小不問道中人間未造随小説一中南下シャリオツ五十五武士来修十輪年修十理公園言行無修応援金量修行料理小百小理者が如来応弁起見阿弥陀有足者如来起見東大銀論無量無限無償意全上下多十三枚純流無才上十一歳二上大四如来の九十分別行善上本地入難修行シャリオツ修行本師無料無縁二度無部出場重視シャリオツ修上位者が武将上重第一経由南下しようよい仏用仏内の空人上智相勝利小行税総行税小行税海行税力行税産行税行税遠行税下行税法行税本末中京都小位小行税総行税小行税大行税行税産行税遠行税遠行税下行税法行税本末中京都小位小行税総行税小行税大行税力行税産行税遠行税遠行税下行税法行税本末無病
Page 35 of the Blue Book. Chapter 16, Duration of the Life of the Tamatama. 両連芸教、如来重量、本来重力、リーダー国物来、小教小公衆、無料約千万、国際遊び、小説、東京、刑務所、修行、料理、大仏道、未来無料語、非常修行、公弁言明暗に自粛滅度、常住施設上流をし、小人類、上修行、随言に不見、中堅が滅度、高級業者に変態変動、二小活動新種上記新武式入難微心欲変
不知不知心有其大具数手不知有主神大吉多数中有在西不那是以后本力と現有なす不なすよ不数と無病心療者が無を一中一節無常のと不問し何がめすどが検証主張無在を空海幸福原神両党小化主語人語信連語内出理説個人数力病でお遊びを常在病重戦有用所重症修道健康人大化少々自家市場安穏万人上10万本人衝動各種重宝小本能中華経過修上昇有楽昇天客天空調査周期学部万だらけ産物九大衆が浄土不起二種検証人無不小空の行税出十万税商財収蔵医薬公園面あそぎと不問三道病法修空国入は七時者相体験が信在しに説法一時修説仏十無量空在天武者一仏難知が知力行税交渉無料寿命無修と無修交渉特領と無知者も投資将棋登壇療養人仏語十法料理全能弁二次用紙当実在に根治無能石膏の麻薬異生物無償空間者異本無天領実在に根熱理条件がと非常教師心の一学法力者を悪道中阿道奇修行行道不行道水行小可道一切修十を大事させ年二が領修行特入無浄土即上十無心
Now it's the blue book. If you turn it over to the back of the blue book, turn to page 86. Merits of the Lotus Sutra. Zuiji E. Kosho. The Lotus Sutra is called Zuiji. Namely, it expounds the true mind of the Buddha. Since the Buddha's mind is so great, even if one does not understand the profound meaning of the sutra, one can gain innumerable merits by just reading. Just as a mugwort among the hemp plants grows straight, and a stake and a tube straightens them. If one becomes friendly with good people, one's mind, behavior, and words become naturally gentle. Likewise, the Buddha thinks that those who believe in the Lotus Sutra become naturally virtuous. Writings of Nichiren Shonen, Volume 4, page 155. Please turn to page 63, recitation of Yogai Moku. Place your hands in the gasho. Namu Myo Renge Kyo. 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 Renge Kyo. Namu Myo 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 Renge Kyo. Renge Kyo. Namu Myo 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 Renge Kyo. Namu Page 66. The difficulty of retaining the sutra. Then, the difficulty of retaining the sutra. From chapter 11, Holding the stupa of treasures. It is difficult to keep this sutra.
I shall be glad to see anyone keeping it even for a moment. So will all the other Buddhas.
He will be praised by all the Buddhas. He will be a
Man of valor, a man of endeavor, he should be considered to have already observed the precepts and practice of Buddha. He will quickly attain the unsurpassed enlightenment of the Buddha. Anyone who reads and recites this sutra in the future is a true son of man. He shall be considered to live on the stage of purity and good. Anyone after my excitation who understands the meaning of this sutra will be the eye of the world of God. And anyone who expounds the sutra even for a moment in this dreadful world should be honored with offerings by all gods and men.
Page 68, Golden Chain. I am a link in Lord Buddha's golden chain of love that stretches around the world.
Bright and strong, I will try to be kind and gentle to every living thing, and protect all who are weaker than myself. I will try to think pure and beautiful thoughts, to say pure and beautiful words, and to do pure and beautiful deeds, knowing that on what I do now depends my happiness and misery. May every link in Lord Buddha's golden chain of love become bright and strong. May we all attain perfect peace.
Page 71, Ethical Prayer. I will read this. We respectfully dedicate all our merits now gathered to the great benevolent teacher, Shakyamuni, the eternal Buddha, to the supreme teaching, the Lotus Sutra, to the leader of the declining latter age of the Dharma, our founder, the great Bodhisattva, Nichiren Shonin, and to the protective deities of the Dharma. May all beings under the heavens and within the four seas live in accordance with the wonderful Dharma. May the wonderful Dharma spread throughout the 10,000 years of the declining latter age of the Dharma. This world is the eternal Buddha's pure land. May all the world and all beings enjoy peace and happiness, in safety, and live long without misfortune. May the peace and happiness last forever and all beings be prosperous. We pray that all beings awaken to the true nature of reality, which is the Buddha Dharma. May all beings of all realms be helped equally, overcome suffering, and gain the happiness of blissful liberation through the merits of following the teaching of the Lotus Sutra. We especially this morning wish to dedicate our merits and prayers to those members of our Sangha and friends who are in sickness and distress, and those who have passed. Those who are in sickness or distress: Kelly, Damian Reddick, Wendy Credos, Renee Hardaway, Jessica Jones, Jason Wellman, Nadine Morsch, Dirk Patton, Kevin Hampton, Jesse Schaefer, Lotus Meshi, Cindy Smith, Julianne Laverne, Rodney Shepard, Rose Addison, Armin Laverne, Issa Simmons, Ken Larson, Lucille Craig, Gail Bull, Martin Hardaway and Renee Hardaway, Joshua Davis, President Trump, Elaine Dwyer, Donald Gregory, Brent Spooner, Marissa Macy, Sumi Oka, Kaishin Valentin, Takanori Furuta, George Schiff, Antonio Ventura, Gene Kazmersky, Deidre Hossett, Jody Merriman and Bill Merriman, Christy and Jerry Kazmarsky, Armando Rivera, Alyssa Rivera, Elijah and James Chapman, James Conklin, Janice Goodrow, Doug McDade, for the safety of the Cedarman and Kobayashi families, for the victims of the recent flooding in Japan, Ruth Benuski, Manny Figueroa, Romeo Blanton, Samantha Phillips, Jack Phillips, Beth Watson, Michael Dean Ritchie, and Richard Clark's children. For those who have passed, in memoriam, we We dedicate our marriage to Amy and Maria Valentin, Elaine and Joe Winter, CP and Augustus Kroll, Albert Rebus, Shay, Ming Chi, Stella Scoop, Ali and Uzu, Jack Parker, Bill Mears Sensei, Terry Paquin, Kazuko Jordan, Cheryl Cushman, Aunt Barbara, Wayne, Jean Knott, Deidre Hossick, Cheryl Sissy Jones, Michael Maffei, Diane Dolan, Jazz Apple, Jack Lipson, Peter Vanusky, Ronnie Ugetsu Selden, Jerry Peterson, Destiny Williams, Carlos Ruan, Ethel and Bernie Creighton, Eva and Benny Litson, Mary Petraeus, Errol Scott, Glenda Williams, Frank Tartaro, Eric Stewart, Jeff Sullivan, Jacob Clayton. For the victims who lost their lives in the terror attacks on London a month ago, those of the attacks in Barcelona, Spain, for the attack in Charlottesville, Virginia, and for all those who have lost their lives because of the delusion and attachment of others. We pray for the spirits of our ancestors and for all the spirits of the universe. May we purify our minds, limit our desires, learn to be content, feel free to experience the quiet and unassuming joys of life, and learn to abandon all attachments formed in the mind. With this prayer, we endeavor to increase our understanding and appreciation of what others have given and contributed to us, and to develop constant mindful consideration of how our thoughts and actions will beneficially contribute to others. Namu Myo Renge Kyo. Page 77 and 78, 435. Shiru Seigan. Shujo Muhen Segando.
Sentient beings are innumerable. I vow to save them all.
Ono Mushu Segandan.
Our defilements are inexhaustible. I vow to quench them all.
Omon Mujin Seganchi.
The Buddha's teachings are immeasurable. I vow to know them all.
Butsuro Mujo Seganjo.
The way of the Buddha is unexcelled. I vow to attain the path sublime.
With this body,
Until I attain Buddhahood, I shall uphold my faith in the Lotus Sutra. Namu Myo Renge Kyo. Namu Myo Renge Kyo. Namu Myo Renge Kyo.
farewell. Chi ones, remember us. Be where you like, and come again out of your compassion towards us. Let us close. We began a few moments of silent sitting meditation. Thank you so much for coming today and chanting with us. Joining us. As you can see, Namu is not here. Namu is at the Vietnamese temple, a few miles north
Yeah, Genesee.
of Tennessee. And you said everyone is welcome to the pop-up that they had to do today. So we're not going to have a sit down lunch today because again it was a little bit last minute, but we sent out the Facebook notice I think on Thursday. So again, there'll be a potluck luncheon up in at the Vietnamese temple at noon, which is not 20 minutes. So everyone's welcome up there. And, yeah, thank you so much for coming by. If you don't want to head up there, again, you're more than welcome to. If you'd rather stay here and tea, feel free to do that as well. Awesome. And then I don't have my phone. I should use your phone. We could take a picture to commemorate. Right. Again, feel free to